Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan, and I have my last pen that I purchased in 2023 and the first pen arriving in 2024. This is from, oh, it's upside down, Pens by Casein, custom made in Australia. And one of the first pens I ever got handmade was done by Casein, and he is an absolute joy to work with. I guess purchase this commission or put my name in line for this commission on Fountain Pen Day in November, and then my turn came up towards the middle to the end of December, and I remember getting a message from Casein saying, I'm working on your pen. And that next 12 hours was so fun because the messaging back and forth and how open he was to my ideas and things like that were so great. But even before that, he was open to all the ideas I had about this pen. So this pen is a combination of, it's my brainchild basically, and Casein was so open to everything, so thank you so much. So this arrived just today from Australia. For those who are Canadian, I did get hit with $27.99 worth of customs, just letting you know. So it comes in this cardboard sleeve and then this clamshell box. And ooh, oh yes, he included something else for me here. So it comes in this velvet sleeve, and then he also included a cypress nib. So I actually might switch that in there right now and give that a try. Ooh, so even before I open up the pen, let's look at the nib here. So these cypress nibs, I believe, have the same feed color as a Yovo nib, so I can switch that out, but I'm going to definitely switch with this one out. I like that it's dual toned, it's a fine nib, so we will definitely give that a try. But before we do that, actually what I'm going to show you is the description. So the pen is the Tokubetsu 13 with an inlay. It's the Nikko Ebonite with the Tiffany Casein Kay-ocera Opal inlay with a gloss finish. Whoa, okay. So now let's take a look. Wow. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at that opal. Okay, firstly, I just want to say that I really fell in love with the Tiffany Casein, or that kind of cracked ice material, and I know that Casein didn't have a ton of it, but then I don't know what happened in terms of the design, but I really like this, and I decided why not put it with the black ebonite with that opal inlay. And it's just such a beautiful and classy pen, and look at that grip section, stunning. And I feel like you could basically add any ink color to that. That is marvelous. Beautiful. There's like a little bit of sparkle in there as well. And then just looking at the opal inlay, so Casein does that himself actually, where he will drill into the ebonite and then place that opal in there himself. So that is an extra charge for the opal inlay, but so worth it. And then just already holding it in my hand, Casein actually worked with me, and I told him that I would prefer less of a step between the grip section and the body, and he was able to take that down just a little bit for me. And oh gosh, that is gorgeous. Now there is a little bit, looks like a little bit of silicone grease there, but I'm going to just wipe that off quickly before I go ahead and compare this to other pens in my collection. So comparing the Kay-ocera, well, okay, what is the pen model? It's the Kay-ocera, no, the Tokubetsu 13. So comparing the Tokubetsu 13 with, we've got an Esterbrook SD, and then we have the Pelican M800. We have a Leonardo Momento Zero. We have the Pilot Vanishing Point. I'm pulling out some pens here in my collection. There we go. And then we have the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. So that just gives you a general idea of the size. It's definitely, well, actually it looks like it's about the same length as the Esterbrook SD, definitely longer than the M800 and Leonardo Momento Zero. And then it looks like it is a little bit longer than the Pilot Vanishing Point, definitely longer than the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. So let's go ahead and uncap all of these. So there are all of the pens uncapped, definitely one of the longest in my collection. But in terms of the grip size or the section, it actually looks pretty comparable to the SD, the M800, and the Leonardo Momento Zero, which for me, these three are very comfortable. So I'm imagining this will be very comfortable as well. Then you see that tiny, tiny step between the body and the section, which almost looks similar to the step on that Leonardo Momento Zero. And then in terms of length, let me, I guess, uncap or click the Pilot Vanishing Point. It looks like it's about the same length as well. So let's go ahead and weigh this pen. So I've added this here just to keep the pen from rolling, and then I've zeroed out the scale. So this pen capped weighs 22 grams, and then uncapped it weighs 16 grams, making the cap 7 grams. So it is a 23 gram pen, or there's just a bit of a, ooh, stay, 26, 23, 24, 23. Yeah, there we go, 23. I'm going to go ahead and place the cypress nib in the pen. So if you've never done this before, I'm actually gonna place this here. And then it comes with the converter. And there is a little bit of silicone grease in there, so be careful with that. And then removing the nib. Now I'm going to make a note, actually, all of the hand-turned pens that I've ever received, you can probably eyedropper each and every single one of them. I wouldn't recommend that because well, one, I don't need that much ink, but two, it's very, I'm almost scared to stain the inside of the chamber. So how easy was that to remove? I'm going to place that right back in here, and then place the cypress nib. Love that. So easy. And now I can go ahead and ink this out. So the ink that I've put in here is Birmingham Pen Co. Molten Tin, and this was actually sent to me by my secret Santa. And here we go. I put the cypress nib on here, and I'm going to go ahead and test it. So the ink, ooh, is Birmingham. Oh, if I can spell. Pen Co. Molten Tin. And gosh, that is a smooth, fine nib. In terms of wetness, pretty good for wetness. Now reverse writing, oops. Not really. Is there a little bit of give? You can certainly push for a little bit of flex, but again, these nibs aren't made for that. And then in terms of just general smoothness, beautiful. And then let's go ahead and, what are we gonna rate here? So yeah, let's do the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy, because I didn't do an S, I'm going to do dogs. All right, it's amazing that this ink actually, it goes down purple but then dries a blue, which I think works so well with the Tiffany Casein material, and that cypress nib is just gorgeous. So my initial thoughts on this Tokubetsu 13 with the inlay, it is stunning, and Casey worked hard to get this just the way that I wanted. He made my vision come to life. I love the different color finials and the different color grip, but I've also really admired his work with the opal inlay and just how different each one looks, but that opal inlay makes it look like the Casein material is actually popping out of the ebonite, and that's really the look that I wanted to go for. I totally could have asked him to add way more of the opal inlay, but I think in this particular case, less was definitely more, because the two together with the Tiffany Casein and the opal inlay, it just makes for such a beautiful and unique pen. So thank you, Casey, for basically bringing this brainchild of mine, or my vision, to life. I'm so happy with it. Thank you so much. All right, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And lastly, you can actually contact Casey either through, I believe through Instagram is the best way to get a hold of him, and I will leave his Instagram down in the description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.